what are some features of a modern leadership platform? What are some processes of a modern leadership platform? What are some resources inside a modern leadership platform that you could actually use to help all leaders blip the throttle and downshift every single moment, every single day within their jobs? And we decided on two things. One was called the Construct Working Board, and one was called the Side by Side. And I think for time purposes, what I want to do is I'm going to go directly to the Side by Side. And in order to do that, I'm going to share my screen, and let's make sure you can see it. All good on your end?
Yep.
Okay, so for those of you who are watching us for the first time or need to be reminded on how to get to Rejuvi and the Modern Leadership Platform, you're going to go to rejuviventure.com. In the top right, you're going to see a login. You're just going to click on that. And I'm going to log in. While there are several different user interfaces, there's user interfaces for people who are administering and building modern leadership capability inside of their organization with Rejuvi. There are login credentials for leaders. I'm going to actually log in today as a leader, as an administrator. And I'm going to be logging in to a company called BlackRock Steel. Imagine that my name is Jennifer. I've just logged into the Modern Leadership Platform, the Rejuvi platform. And so just a reminder of a couple of things when you log into the Rejuvi platform. It's based for modern leaders, and modern leaders come in all different varieties. They may be senior leaders, which in Rejuvi world is butterscotch. They may be sales leaders, which is red. They may be service leaders, which is purple, and they may be team leaders, which is blue. And coming is an expert, and that will be green. An expert leader, we get asked that a lot. What's an expert leader? It's all of those leaders inside an organization who work on those enabling functions inside of companies like IT or finance or HR or legal or data and analytics. That's where those leaders would go. So for the resource, and as a reminder, when you log in, Jennifer, the administrator, is saying, hey, how do you want to serve your leadership bench today? Do you want to do some leader population work? Do you want to do some data collection work? Do you want to do some reporting and analytics work? Or do you want to do some training and development work? And in that case, you're going to go to resources to go. And we are going to go to resources to go. And I don't spend very much time in the purple world, so I'm going to actually go there. And to pull up the document, we're going to go into modeling and profiles. We're going to go into side to sides, and we're going to actually preview this document that starts to talk about both planes together, the plane or the silo of leader excellence and the plane or the silo of business excellence. And we're going to preview that. And there you go. Can you see it?
Yep.
And oftentimes, whenever I pull this out, I call it the ice cream cone document, because if you turn it upside down, it looks like you've got 4 ice cream cones there. And remember, the green one is coming. But what I love about this is in one easy to understand snapshot. On the front end, you're going to start to see, we're in the purple world, and the last example that we talked about was a service leader. But you can start to take a look at all of the things that might help the plane or the silo of service leader excellence start to look like. And we, for example, know that they're going to need, this competency called teaming, and that they can inspire through purpose and adapt with the team. So we know that. And the training and development industry, the leadership development industry, has worked for quite some time on this plane. That's how we know to take behaviors like this service leader is able to give this team member feedback specifically on what he or she is doing well and on how he or she can get better. And you wrap all of those behaviors together into a competency like teaming. But what I love about this document is it's just like, now, wait a minute. This isn't just about that plane, about the things that are going to make this service leader fantastic. Because what's going to make that service leader fantastic and all of those employees that work in those service centers is also understanding the practices that are going to make that service center strong. And let me blow this up just a little bit so that people can see it a little bit more closely. I think I can move it this way, drag it down, and I'm going to make it even bigger. Can you kind of see the purple checkered box?
Yep.
Yep. Okay,
Yes.
there we go. And there you go. It's kind of like this is the plane of the practices that have to be in place for a service leader. And there you have it right there, coaching, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so it's all of these practices and these assumptions about the models and the ways of working that an organization needs to have in place. Because in order for a sales leader to effectively be able to team, he or she is also going to have to count on right here the coaching model that organization is going to have in place. Let me give you another example of how this works. So earlier in the call today, we actually we started out with a sales leader example. And there we have on the front side of this, on the ice cream cone part of it, on the plane called what makes a leader fantastic. Well, what makes a sales leader fantastic is this thing called, or this competency called, consultative mindset. And we know if you went into it, you're going to find this behavior called, yeah, that really great sales leader knows how to reroute a sales conversation beautifully from price to value. But you flip it to the other plane, right? You flip it to the other plane, and there we have it, and what that sales leader has to count on is the value proposition of the business. These things work in tandem. So for all of our leaders, let me back out of this just a little bit. For all of these leaders, for leadership excellence, for modern leadership, to be able to blip the throttle and downshift, they have to count on the practices that need to be in place in the silo or the plane called, fierce business skills. And at the same time, they have to be able to take a look at the behaviors and the actions or the competencies that make them individually strong. And these two things actually fit together to give any single leader a lot of control. And so for this example, I love this particular document, the ice cream cone document. It's really what we call the side to side, because it's actually taking these things that have been siloed in the past, and it's helping you to understand in a front and back sort of way how these things are actually related, right? The ice cream cone document.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know, it's really good. So there we have it.